All right. How many of you are familiar with the name Giannini? Giannini. Amedeo Giannini. Great story. Here, let me tell you his story. He's born 1870. There he is, cover of Time magazine later in life. He's born 1870 near San Jose, California. His parents are immigrants from Italy. His father runs an orchard. The boy loves to make rounds of the orchard with his dad. One day, the kid is 6, 7 years old. He sees his father get in an argument with a disgruntled farm worker. The boy stands there as a witness near a tree as the farm worker draws a gun from his waistband and shoots the father on the spot. The father dies. The widow moves the family into the city of San Francisco. Now, young Amedeo Giannini, he's a smart kid. He's a whiz at math, but he just can't sit still in the classroom. You know, today they'd say he's got ADD, and they'd give him Ritalin, right? By the way, this ADD thing, you ever think the grown-ups, we give it an abbreviation because we don't have the time or the patience to spell out the whole thing. We got to move on to something else. All right, so what does the kid do? Shout out to me, please, when you go to San Francisco as a tourist. What are the tourist destinations you go to, please? Golden Gate Bridge. Now, some guy back there, I heard Alcatraz. Watch him. I also heard Fisherman's Wharf. The kid fell in love with Fisherman's Wharf. Now, there was no aquarium 120 years ago. There were no jugglers. The boy falls in love with commerce. He gets a job in the fruit and vegetable market as a broker. And as a teenager, earns a fortune as a teenage broker of fruits and vegetables. Then he decides, I want to start a financial institution for the guys on the docks, for the working class, because they can't get a loan. Now, J.P. Morgan was active at the time, but J.P., he'd lend money to the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, the Goulds, the Carnegies. If you didn't need the money, J.P. was there for you, right? But the working class, forget about it. So Amedeo Giannini starts a little bank. He calls it the Bank of Italy, right? He finds an Irish friend, Joe Fagan, who was running, or who was working at the Crocker Bank, the establishment bank of San Francisco. And he finds his friend Joe Fagan, the Irishman, gives him an honorary Italian name, and says, hey, Giacomo, come with me. So Giacomo and Amedeo Giannini start the Bank of Italy. All right, scroll ahead a few years. It's Wednesday, April 18th, 1906. The San Francisco earthquake strikes. The city reduced to rubble. Gas mains break. Fires everywhere. Now it's Saturday, following the Wednesday earthquake. The leading bankers of the day gather together in the last standing conference room of San Francisco. And they bang a gavel on the following resolution. We, the bankers of San Francisco, on this Saturday following the Wednesday devastation, do hereby declare that we, the bankers and the banks of this great city, are closed for 6 months. Yeah, what? Hey, we can't touch the vaults. How are we going to, get this one, how are we going to value collateral in an illiquid market? Giannini steps forward with his little Bank of Italy. He says, you're closed 6 months? He said, I'm opening tomorrow. Tomorrow. Sunday. For a Catholic in San Francisco in 1906. How does he open his bank? His building was destroyed, but they saved some money in a sack. Right? They rolled 2 wooden barrels out to the wharf, slap a wooden plank across the top, and begin doling out credit. You've seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, right? You know who directed it? Frank Capra, Paisan, a friend of Giannini, who said he was inspired to create the Jimmy Stewart character by the courage and leadership that Giannini showed during the earthquake and bank runs of the Great Depression. Now, what difference does courage and leadership make? If you Google image San Francisco 1 year after that earthquake, see how it was rebuilt with greater splendor than before, and sadly compare that today to New Orleans, still trying to claw back from Hurricane Katrina 2.5 years later. You'll see the difference courage and leadership can make.